government inclusive of all, regardless of political affiliation. So we are both members of Secular Coalition for Arizona. Great organization. Let me see if I can pull up the website so I can give you that information. It may have been in the PSA. I can't remember. It's secularaz.org. If you believe in separation of church and state, or at least in equality, regardless of religious affiliation, then please go be a member, go donate, go be a part of trying to make our country non-theocracy.
Theatrical. Or
Theatrical?
whatever.
Theocracy. So, yeah. That's one of the things. Good organization. There's a lot of good organizations working hard in Arizona. As a recap, let's go ahead and go back. We have talked about the first thing we talked about was the trolling of Donald Trump at the CPAC, which was epic. Those of you that are just tuning in now, what happened was two guys, progressive guys, went to CPAC, bought tickets, and went in and passed out Russian flags with Trump's name on them and passed it out to the crowd. Almost 1,000 flags were passed out before CPAC staff caught it. So we have pictures and news feeds of a bunch of Trump supporters waving Russian flags with his name on it all over the news. It went viral. We've been talking about Arizona laws of restricting the rights of the people by arresting them if they are peaceful protesting, if there's some sort of violence going on. And we talked a little bit about the new Center for Arizona Policy backed law that will allow doctors and hospitals, not just people, but hospitals, to refuse living will and end-of-life requests from patients. So those are the things we've been talking about, and the erosion of the Citizens Initiative here in Arizona. So let's go ahead, and we will go ahead and open up the phone lines because we want to hear from our listeners to tie into any of these issues that we've talked to. The call-in number is 480-405-1465. Call in. You can talk about anything that we've talked about. If you have something that we haven't talked about, you can talk about that too. All we ask is that you are respectful. If you're not, we will hang up on you and make fun of you afterwards. Or during. Either one is fine. But yes, we would like to hear from you. 480-405-1465. Call in. We'll talk to you. We'll talk about some of these issues. Where are we at now on our... Okay, so we talked about the curbing voters' rights. They have a bill right now in Arizona to undermine the Voter Protection Act. Supposedly that would require voter approval at the elections in November. But, the way dark money works is they will fund it to the limit to make sure that everybody is ignorant of what the actual bill does. So, limiting paid circulators, restricting the ballot initiatives that citizens are allowed to do in Arizona, and also allowing the legislature to overturn citizens' initiatives that have been voted on by the public. Welcome to Stalag, Arizona, because that's what we're turning into. Nice, isn't it? Woohoo! One of the other things going on. Oh, for those of you that live out in the East Valley, we have a couple of things going on. This is totally off topic. We have the Arizona Renaissance Festival, which is happening Saturdays and Sundays. It's out east of Gold Canyon. Yeah, east of Gold Canyon, about a couple of miles out. And they're the Saturday and Sunday. They got a lot of cool events. They got a lot of cool vendors. It's really kind of an interesting thing. For those of you that are in the area, if you want to have something fun to do that's not normal, that's the place to go. Take the 60 eastbound outside through Mesa, through Apache Junction, out through Gold Canyon, and you will run right into it. I think the tickets are about $20 a piece to get in, but I'm not sure. What else do we have going on? Lost Dutchman Days here in Apache Junction. Our Lost Dutchman Days weekend. Tomorrow morning is the parade, the Lost Dutchman Days parade, and the rodeo and carnival up at the rodeo grounds in Apache Junction happens also for the next 2 days. So for those of you that are in the area, if you want to do something where you see cows knocking the shit out of people, that's a place to go, because it's kind of fun watching these guys that ride beasts and then run away from them when they're done. I want to see them get mowed down. I mean, that would be fun. But that's just me. So that's local things going on. Shoot, what else is going on in the area? It's supposed to get cold tonight. Woohoo! Weather report. But other than that, yeah, well, there's a lot of truth to that. There is a lot of truth to that, because we just don't do that cold thing very well. Of course, our cold is like 30-something degrees. I think we're supposed to hit 39 tonight as a low, which is, woohoo. Oh, cool. That's awesome. 27 degrees. That's butt-ass cold. So, okay, so let's move along. I don't know how many of you people have been following a lot of the religious things that have been going across the nation. There's been a big push for the past 2 to 3 years along the idea of strongly held religious beliefs, and how those should be more important. Some people's strongly held religious beliefs should allow them to discriminate against others, or to refuse services to others because of those beliefs. It's one of those things that our country really needs to fix, because I still do not know why one person's religious belief should trump my beliefs. Why one person's is more important than the other. So there's been a lot of interesting things going around the nation. We know that the Satanic Temple, which has been working really hard to show that religious discrimination against anyone non-Judeo-Christian is really easy to do in the United States, and they've been working really hard against that to bring that to the public's eye. They have started after-school Satan clubs in opposition to the Good News Club, I think is what it's called, nationwide. So they now have after-school Satan clubs in Tacoma, Portland, Oregon, and now Salt Lake City, Utah, I think, where they have after-school Satan clubs to counteract the Good News clubs, where Christianity is able to come into schools and actually tout their religious beliefs, and because of that, and because of the freedom of religion and this, that, and the other organizations are now starting to push back, because they believe, for some normal reason, that they should be treated equally according to the Constitution. They're pushing back on that. So we've had several satanic after-school Satan clubs opening up, which has been kind of successful. Just actually getting them on the line has been rather successful. And we've had several things around the nation where we have state capitals that are so prominent to post big, huge statues and monuments for the Ten Commandments, that Judeo-Christian thing, and then refusing the ability for other religions to post their religious statues and such on their property. So what the next segment is called "Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Baphomet?" Baphomet. Arkansas is a real hot spot right at this point in time. The Satanic Temple has requested and applied to put a statue of Baphomet on the Arizona State Capitol next to the Ten Commandments. And the legislature in Arkansas have lost their minds over this, because apparently they don't believe that anyone other than Christians should have their stuff posted or planted on government property.
So basically, we are the superior religion. We get the superior rights. Though everybody should have the rights, the hell with you all? Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, you know what? We are not a Christian nation just because there's a lot of Christians in our nation.
Hey, there's a lot of assholes in our nation, and we're not the asshole. Well, we could be the asshole nation now.
We could be, and that's not discriminatory. That doesn't matter what gender you are, what race you are, what religion you are.
No, it just has to be with how you act.
I think we are just the asshole nation.
So we're having all these different. Well, there's a lot of truth to that too. So, Little Rock, Arkansas. Okay, the Satanic Temple was successful in applying for and garnering a hearing for the consideration of having the Baphomet statue planted at the state capitol close to the Ten Commandments, which, of course, all these people decided was really necessary. To the point that the legislature wrote emergency legislation to block the ability for anybody other than the Christians to put their statues or whatnot, monuments on government property.
Wait, anybody other than the Christians?
Yes.
So they
They're
should take
blocking
theirs down
everybody.
too then?
No. They passed state legislation allowing theirs, but nobody else's.
There's that tolerance we always talk about.
The Satanic Temple had a public hearing in May, scheduled for May, and now that they've passed this new law, that public hearing has been canceled. Basically throwing out the idea that anybody other than Christians should be allowed to have their monuments put on public ground. Now, I know that people don't seem to understand this whole violation of the First Amendment of, government shall have no, shall not push any kind of religion. And we talked about that a little earlier, too. I wonder if I can find that actual document again. Because I actually did an actual, I had a post that specifically spelled out exactly what it means. Okay, no, there's the stakes from tonight. I'm looking through my Facebook feed because I know it's on there somewhere. I just got to figure out where I do. It's on there. Let's see, Robot Atlas. Okay, yeah. Ooh, tasty video from, chicken parmesan. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Okay. First Amendment states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Now, for some reason, apparently a lot of these state legislatures don't get that whole Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or the prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Because if you put the Ten Commandments on public state property, then you open the door to every other religion to also put their monument on that property. But apparently they don't understand that idea. So they're fighting against, and they had emergency legislation to block this. And they have officially now canceled the public hearing of the Satanic Temple's petition to erect the statue of Baphomet on the Arkansas Capitol, violating the First Amendment of the Constitution. What kind of a world have we become where it is okay for legislators that are supposed to work for us to violate our laws? Apparently it's a common thing nowadays. Anybody seems to be able to do it. And that's just a bunch of crap. I mean, I've seen the statue. It looks pretty cool, and just because it's different than the majority doesn't mean that it's wrong. It doesn't mean that it isn't correct. It doesn't mean that it's an abomination. It means that somebody else believes differently than you fuckers. Oh, did I just say the F word?
You did.
Oh, my God. I can't believe I said something like that. Anyway, yeah, this is one of the reasons why we click the little explicit information on our recording whenever we do our actual broadcast, is because people need to understand that this is not a children's show, and we will drop the fuck bomb occasionally. Well, quite a bit, actually.
More you than me tonight.
Well, yeah, okay. So I've been more yappy tonight. You haven't been as yappy as I have been. So here we have Who's Afraid of the Big Bad Baphomet. And that happened